In a small town in Karnataka, a boy aspired to serve the nation as a civil servant. He initially pursued a corporate career as a telecommunication engineer. However, on the brink of leaving his homeland for the corporate world, his childhood dream rekindled. Choosing to pursue his passion, he left his lucrative job and embarked on the challenging journey of cracking the world's most toughest examination for a shot at becoming a civil servant. Hello, I'm Muskan Khandelwal, and you are watching Indian Masterminds. Today we have with us 2020 batch IS officer Koushik HR. So thank you so much, sir, for joining us today.
You're welcome.
So what initially sparked your passion for the civil services? You gave 5 attempts of the UPSC exam. So how did you keep yourself motivated and kept your passion alive despite repeated failures?
See, firstly, what initially motivated me is somewhere most of my education happened in government-aided institutions with lot of support from civil society and neighborhood. So there's someone used to get me books and all those things. So mainly because of some my humble background or economic background, I couldn't study in any private school as such. So most of my education happened in government-aided institutions. So somewhere I had an urge to give back to society. So I think always I kept trying even when I finished my graduation. I kept trying maybe through working some NGOs and contributing something, but I was not satisfied because I felt I can't be the change maker. I can be a part of it only. So that's the reason. Somewhere even in the college days, I had heard about civil service and I was thinking about it, and then I realized this is the best field where I can give back to the society. This is where the ideas part. It's not like one day somewhere some incident. I don't have any particular incident which particular is part. Many officers will have such incidents. I don't have any such particular incident as such.
Mm.
And regarding my journey of UPSC, yes, it was very long actually. It took me 7 years. In 2013, I quit my high-paying software job,
Mm.
and I gave my first attempt in 2015, and finally I'm a 2020 batch IAS officer. So it was quite long, as you are saying. I mean, it took 5 attempts. In the fourth attempt, also I had cleared the exam. I was in Indian Revenue Service, so I cleared twice. But what kept me motivated is somewhere I believed in myself, and also it was not a stagnant performance. Always I had some what to say improvement. For example, in my first attempt, I couldn't clear the mains. I didn't get an interview call, and I missed it by a huge margin.
Okay.
Then I started working on it. And in the second attempt, I went till interview. And the next attempt, again, I went to the last phase. So I missed by a single mark or some single digit marks of such margin. And always there was improvement.
Right.
So always I believed in one mantra. That is, always I keep saying this. Failure is a stepping stone of success, which everyone says. But a little tweak I always follow. You see, you will once you fail, you should know which is the stone which made you fall, and you should try to avoid that. That is when you can succeed. It's not that every time you fail and keep repeating the same mistake. So what I used to do is I kept analyzing what made me go down and what made me fail, and I kept improving on that. That's the reason I maybe towards the end I was successful.
That's great, sir. So, during your preparation, how did you identify and choose the one book strategy for each subject? Because there is so much material out there for every subject. So, how should one decide on what to study and what not to study?
See, one thing is, as you are rightly saying, and most of the aspirants also reach out to me and many of other my batchmates. Basically, the confusion is what to study.
Right.
And more than that, I feel in UPSC you should know what not to study. That is very, very important. Should know what not to study. So what I mean, my mantra was, for example, it's like a single book with multiple revisions. Instead of reading some 5, 6 books, you read one book 5 times. That will have always revision is very, very important when it comes to UPSC preparation.
Right.
So I used to go for my standard sources. Sometimes what will happen, everyone will again ask, sir, is NCERT necessary? I feel it's quite necessary in the initial stage of preparation to build your basic knowledge. But sometimes it will not be sufficient. So for that, you can add one more book. Maybe like, for example, in case of polity, you'll read NCERT, also you'll read Lakshmikant, and many such cases you come across. So NCERT is very necessary just to read it as a glancing and as a basic book. But I don't think that would be sufficient to crack the exam. For that, you can add one expert book per subject and go for multiple revisions. Without revisions, cracking this exam is very, very huge because the syllabus is very vast.
राइट. सो जनरली लोग आंसर राइटिंग के बारे में बहुत बात करते हैं. सो व्हाट इज द की टू ड्राफ्टिंग वेल स्ट्रक्चर्ड आंसर्स इन द यूपीएससी मेंस एग्जाम?
See, अभी आंसर राइटिंग क्या होता है कि इट्स लाइक अ स्किल.
राइट.
As they say, answer writing is a skill. You can't cultivate in one day. This was my logic always. Like, for example, dancing is a skill. Skill, I mean, singing is a skill. You can't develop in one day. Same with answer writing. I
राइट.
still remember the first answer which I had written, and I had submitted to faculty, and both the pages, दोनों pages में काट के this nonsense what you written इसे कुछ comment मिला था. 2 दिन I was little depressed. So the point is, you keep improving. So what I suggest to all fellow aspirants who are watching this is practice one answer a day. One answer, right? One answer for GS. Take any particular subject, whichever you like. One answer a day now. I mean, in the mains you'll write for the mains preparation. You'll take up a test series. You'll do all those things. But to be in touch with answer writing, what I used to do is every day I used to write one answer, one from the optional, one from which means two answers a day, one for GS. So regularly, क्या होता है कि answer writing will keep there will be improvement.
Right.
And for answer writing, what should be these things? See, there is something called as three major factors which an evaluator will look at: content, structure, and presentation. So what will happen? Everyone will focus only on content. Content के बारे में बस वो क्या होता है, सारे वो 365 मटेरियल्स जो कुछ आता है वो पढ़ लेते हैं. It's only that बहुत सारा content दिमाग में रहता है. Like you can just blurt it out and write on the page, but that will not get you a better marks. What we can do is content with a good structure. Means structure, I mean to say here you divide your answer into multiple parts. All those things it's required, because not just writing what all you know from one end to another. So you can divide into multiple parts. That is very, very important. And finally, presentation. That is very, very, very important. Presentation doesn't mean only handwriting. Yes, of course, if an aspirant's handwriting is not so good, I'll advise them to improve their handwriting by working something. And mainly is about presentation. You say, for example, kabhi kabhi kuch answer mein we need to have put some tables, or you can put some diagrams. For example, in some economy answers, you can put some graphs, charts, such things. So that is very important. For example, if you may getting some 5 marks, you may get 6 marks. And 1 mark, even if you get such 1 mark in 5 answers, like 5 marks, and if it repeats in all the 4 papers, 20 marks, your rank will shoot like anything.
Definitely.
So these three areas an aspirant should focus, and repeated, what to say, practice. Without practice, you can't get the answer writing skill. So obviously during mains, they'll write the test series like 30 series and all those things. But even in a general day-to-day things when they're preparing, they can give half a day, half an hour for it, and write two answers, one from optional, one from GS. That would be very, very helpful. And they can analyze their own answer. There should be an improvement from the first answer and the 10th answer which they write. This is what I did. The first answer I had written, I got a very bad review, whereas the 10th answer I had got a good review from the same faculty. So that is where the self-improvement will occur.
राइट. तो आपने अभी मिस्टेक्स की बात की दैट यू गेव 5 अटेम्प्ट्स, और उसमें ऑफ कोर्स फर्स्ट सेकंड थर्ड अटेम्प्ट्स में कुछ ना कुछ कहीं ना कहीं मिस्टेक्स हुई, एंड देन यू रेक्टिफाइड इट. सो कैन यू एलैबोरेट ऑन सम स्पेसिफिक मिस्टेक्स यू आइडेंटिफाइड एंड हाउ यू रेक्टिफाइड देम?
See, in the first attempt, one major mistake where I lagged is I never practiced answer writing.
Okay.
I never focused on it. I kept studying, and it was more of not from the, see, when we're studying, we should think from UPSC point of view. सारे aspirants कैसे होते हैं कि they complete their studies, okay, I'm done with syllabus. But we should think from UPSC point of view. So what I used to do in the first attempt was generally I studied everything, okay, I completed my syllabus, I wrote some tests. But somewhere where I lacked this, I was not good at answer writing. I couldn't complete the paper, and the answer were not of the quality which UPSC expects. And somewhere I was not having that thought process also, because I never thought about what UPSC will ask from us.
Right.
These things I kept improving. And also my optional, I got quite less. I got 178, both papers combined in my first attempt. And I think in my fourth attempt, I got 168 in one paper only.
Okay.
Out of in the optional. So that improvement is required. So I started analyzing which subjects I'm going weak. And also the areas, like for example, answer writing I picked up a lot. I started writing a lot of answers and started analyzing old question papers. So such questions UPSC will ask, so how to prepare. So old questions papers will be a great guide for the aspirants.
So looking back, is there anything you would have done differently in your preparation?
Differently in my preparation, see, there could be many things which may change, when I interact with my fellow batchmates, this strategy I feel okay, it could have been better, or they could have picked up from something from mine. So there could be many things which I could have changed. I won't say no. I mean, there could be a huge list also. And every aspirant, even the rank one holder, will find something. Oh, I could have done this way. So no point in analyzing those things. But I'm happy with where I am now.
That's great, sir. So now that you have achieved your dream, how does your perspective on the civil services uh, how does your perspective on the civil services differ from your initial expectations?
See, I'll not say it differs a lot. One thing is, I even now I have a great respect for the civil service, be it IAS or even the other services.
Mm.
We are all serving to the people, the needy people, and towards the society in our own way. And I still have the same feeling, and I'm doing the same things in these past 4 years in the service. My respect has even increased a lot because the change which we can make is very high. Of course, I mean, we'll become more practical. I mean, during preparation days, we'll be very idealistic that the service will be like this. And as soon as we enter the service and we start working, we'll become more practical and we'll learn. Many challenges will be there. For example, many times the people, as soon as they think there is an IAS officer posted, they feel okay. इस बंदे तो सब कुछ कर सकता है. We can do everything which they need. But many times we have our own boundaries. We can't.
Right.
Beyond that. So there are instances where we'll feel helplessness and will not be in a position to help. For that, we start thinking practically how to work around or how to plan ahead. So such practicality, I think will not be aware as an aspirant or when we enter the service. As the time proceeds, I think our decision making will keep improving.
Right. So, at last, what advice would you like to give to the aspiring civil service candidates who are struggling with self-doubt or facing setbacks during their preparation?
See, only one thing I'll say is what is most important is your self-confidence. See, you need not impress anyone. Many aspirants will be like, Mummy, Papa, kya sochenge? You need not feel about what society thinks. The society is always a distraction. It's like, for example, if you're riding on a busy traffic, they are the ones who keep honking around you and distract you. So don't worry. So whole point is, if you are confident and if you are genuine in your efforts, just try to impress yourself. Like, पिछले हफ्ते मेरा score ऐसा था, my preparation was like that. Next, अगले हफ्ते my preparation, there is an improvement. That improvement is always required. It's like it cannot be. It's always an exponential curve. It's not a single linear. It should keep increasing a lot. So you can't be stagnant. It's not flat. So I only suggest that please believe in yourself, believe in your goal, and you should be confident. At the end, UPSC expects you to be confident and let you be the judge of yourself. You just try to impress your own soul, your own conscience. As Narayan Murthy very sweetly says in one of the quote, he says, conscience is the softest pillow, which means you can't cheat your own conscience. So be loyal and genuine to your own conscience and try to impress yourself. And being confident and self-dependent will easily make you achieve your goal. And I would like to wish everyone a very good luck.
That's really great, sir. So coming to the end of this session, thank you so much, sir, for sharing your strategies and tips for the aspirants for preparing for UPSC CSE. Not only that, thank you so much for sharing some really inspiring stories and the work that you have done in your previous posting.
You're welcome. I'd like to just wish all the aspirants a good luck, and I really feel whoever has seen this video, if they're impressed or even if they're a little motivated to work a little more harder to reach their goal, I'd be very satisfied. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir.